Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, this show where you get your wonderful questions in. We give you some heartfelt answers, some answers with effort and care returned to you for this wonderful format. And this wonderful format has been going for a long time now, so let's keep this show on the road. Let's get your questions in. Rob, can we get a quick reminder how our dear listeners can get their lovely questions onto the show?
We sure can. All you've got to do is go to propertyhub.net/ask. That's propertyhub.net/ask. You can send us a written question for our Sunday Times column, or our favourite option, send us a voicemail, because then we can answer you right here on this show. All right, let's have our first question now. This one is from Russell.
You've recently said that Derby City is one of your recommended places to invest. However, there have been recent articles in the last few months and the last year saying it's ranked very badly. I think the fifth worst place to live in sort of one survey. Also, the worst place for a city break was mentioned just a few months ago. And it, does have quite high levels of crime and NHS and poverty. I just wondered, as I've been looking to invest there, is it still somewhere that you would say is a recommended place to invest? Thank you.
Russell, thank you. Really appreciate your question. It's great that you've been going off doing your own research, and it's even better that you've asked the question, because if you've found this and it's made you think twice, then other people will definitely be in the same position. I went off and found the article that you were referring to, and it's a bit of a funny one because it references a survey, but I can't find anywhere what the source of the survey is, or really get too deep into understanding how they've come to this. The thing about all these surveys is they are very sensitive to the exact inputs used. So you get completely contradictory things coming out. So just a couple of years ago, there was a survey saying that Derby is one of the best places to live. And now apparently it's one of the worst. And it probably hasn't changed that much in the last couple of years. In fact, it's got better in the last couple of years. So it really depends on what you're measuring. Also, the survey saying it's the worst place for a city break, I wouldn't worry about too much. I love Derby as an investment location. It wouldn't be my first choice for a city break either. But I'm not investing in holiday lets there. I'm investing in long-term rentals there. And when it comes to long-term rentals, what still attracts me to Derby is firstly the strength of local employment. Secondly, the lack of quality rental accommodation. There's been more built recently, but there's still not enough. And thirdly, the sheer relative affordability. So both property prices and rents are relatively, compared to the rest of the country, very affordable compared to local incomes. And that is the key for me, because that provides the headroom for prices and rents to go up. It's the opposite of the situation that you have in the southeast, where basically it's all so expensive that it's topped out. It can't go up any higher without wages going up. Whereas in Derby, that's not the case. There's also been a lot of investment in Derby's town centre, with more to come, which I think is real positive as well. So for me, I'm still super pro Derby, but you might do your research and come to a completely different conclusion. So it's great that you're doing that research, and it's great that you're asking the question. So Russell, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Russell. Next in, we have a question in from James.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Really love the podcast. Been listening to yourselves for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's really helped me sort of start my property journey. So thank you so much for that. The advice I'd like to get from you today is that I have recently had an offer accepted, about 4 months ago actually, on a property in Manchester. As soon as I had the offer accepted, I applied for planning permission to turn the property in from a residential to a HMO. The property hasn't yet completed, and I've received the result of the HMO application, which was rejection. I have since appealed that, and I've spoken to a few solicitors, and they've advised me that they think the outcome or likelihood of the HMO license being granted is quite high. However, I wanted to hear your advice on whether you think it would be worth sort of taking the risk to actually complete on the property. Obviously, if the appeal is successful, then there is no problem. But if it's rejected, then obviously I'm left in a situation where the numbers simply don't stack up in terms of sort of a standard buy-to-let rather than a HMO. And I may be forced to sell the property and probably only just get my money back when taking into account stamp duty. So, the risk here is the sellers will put the house on the market because I'm not in a position yet to complete. Someone else may get the offer and sort of beat me to what I think is a very good investment. So just wanted to hear your thoughts on whether you think that is kind of worth the risk if you've been in a similar situation in the past. And yeah, really look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
James, do I think it would be a risk to complete on this property? Yes. Absolutely, yes. That wouldn't be an investment. That would be more of a gamble. I appreciate it may be an informed gamble because you have advisors telling you that you'll be fine. But the fact of the matter is it's been rejected, and you may win that appeal. But I assume those advisors were surprised at the rejection because they're telling you it's fine. They're not putting their money on the line because you've said you're worried about walking away from a great investment, but you've also said it doesn't stack up as a normal buy-to-let. So without this HMO license in place, you do not have a great investment. And that's what everyone else will see as well. If you're looking at this investment and you can't get a HMO on it, and the only way you deem this to be a great investment is with the HMO license, then it's the same for everyone else. No one else is going to look at this as a great investment. And if they do, they're not a great investor. You may be worried about losing your deal. But as you've probably heard on the podcast over the last weeks and months, the market is very much in the favour of the buyers right now, even in places like Manchester. So while I understand the emotion and the work that you've put into this deal makes you want to go forward, that's not a good enough reason to do it. And I think you know this. I think deep down you know this is not the right thing to do, and hence why you're asking the question. But this is great because I know this happens over and over again, and it happens in different ways, but people get invested into a deal. And it's something we call deal bias. We've seen it within our own business where we've spent weeks, months, sometimes working on a deal and we can't quite get it to a place we're super happy with. But because we've invested so much time and therefore emotion, we want to make the deal work. And we challenge each other within the business and go, is this deal bias? And then as soon as we say that, it's like, it clicks. And it's like, yeah, we're putting so much bias into this deal because of the effort that's gone into it. And I know you've put a lot of effort into this deal, but effort doesn't make it a great investment. The license will, and you don't have that. So my advice, as you've asked for it, is do not proceed. You realize you're in a position of strength. And if this deal doesn't come off, there are other deals to be done. Just take action. Don't hang about. Now is the time to be doing great deals. I'm sure you can do very good deals next year, but the market is particularly favorable at the moment. So make sure you take advantage of that. Good luck.
So there you go. 2 more questions answered. And like we said at the beginning, we'd love to have yours too. So do get over to propertyhub.net/ask if you've got a question to send our way. But that's it for today. We will see you back here on Thursday for the Property Podcast. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.